じゃあ監督なんですか。
もしも水がいい。はい。これはすげえ近。Hello. Hello.
名前大丈夫かしら。
そうです。チェンジした。ちょっと待って。
大城がこっちで。
あ、これに名前書いてんのか。反対になった。やっぱり違う。No se puede cambiar nombre.
Bueno.
Dice que ellos tienen posición.
Aviso que están cambiando, ¿no? Vale.
Arratsaldeon, sail ofizialeko Kiseki filma ikusi berri dugu, orain egingo dugu prentsaurrekoa.
Good afternoon. We'll commence the press conference of the film Kiseki, I Wish. We have the director, Hirokazu Koreeda, and the actors Koki and Oshido Maeda, who are changed over, by the way. The names, they're in different places, okay? Okay. First question, please. Over here, yes? We have a Japanese translation, so try to speak clearly. Congratulations for the film. I thought it was marvelous. Congratulate you for the film. And the roles of the films were incredible. I would like to ask you about how you worked with them and how you wrote the script. Whether there was a lot of improvisation, but also background planning, and also very aesthetic with documentary aesthetics, aesthetically very similar to documentary films.
この子役と映画を作ることについてどのようなエピソードとか大変さがあったかということをお話しください。それであと台本があったけども、かなりアドリブといいますが、自然にできたようなセリフもあったというのも聞きましたので、そのことについて聞かせてください。そうすると台本通りじゃなかったっていうことで、割とドキュメンタリーっぽくとも感じられることもあると思うんですが、その辺についてお話しください。
はい。まずは見ていただいてありがとうございました。
Muchísimas gracias por ver.
Thank you very much for having seen my film, first of all.
でオーディションでこの2人と出会って、で元々は実は、鹿児島に住んでる男の子と博多に住んでる女の子の物語を作ろうと思ってたんですけども、オーディションであったこの兄弟があまりに魅力的だったので、映画のストーリーの方を彼ら2人のキャラクターに合わせて変えたんですよね。で親の離婚で別々に暮らしている兄弟の話というふうに、もう2人から物語を作っているので、そういう意味ではそれだけこの2人との出会いが強烈だったというふうに自分では感じています。
A lot of auditions were held in spring last year, and so therefore I met these two brothers, and it was quite an impact. Initially, before meeting these two boys, the film it was a boy and a girl meet each other in a certain place, but after meeting these two brothers, I changed the script for them. Initially, I only needed one boy, but I wanted to use the younger brother as well.
どうやって作ってたかというと、例えば2人が普段仲良くしてるんで、じゃあどういう時に喧嘩するのって聞いたら、ポテトチップ食べてて最後に残った味の染みたカスをどっちが食べるかで喧嘩をするっていうのを聞いて、面白いなと思って、それは僕は思いつかないから、じゃあそれを脚本に書き込んで、2人が久しぶりに会った縁側でそのポテトチップを譲り合うみたいなシーンを、そういう2人が持ってるエピソードから話を膨らませてシーンを作ったりしてるんですよね。だからどこからが映画の脚本でどこからが彼ら本人かというのは非常に難しい質問になります、正直言うと。
Of course, I wrote the script and I had a script beforehand, but while I was shooting, I changed and modified the script quite a lot. For example, I asked both of the boys, well, do you fight amongst you? When do you fight amongst you? And they told me that they normally they fight for the last crumbs of a bag of crisps. So therefore, I added that scene. I don't know whether you remember at that night when they eat the crisps on the balcony of a house. I added that scene there because it's something that I couldn't imagine. So therefore, I don't know. It's a mixture of my script. I don't know to what extent it's a mixture of my script and improvisation. So therefore, and it could be the script as well as their realities in turn.
二人はどういう物語かは知らずに演じてます。で、
I didn't give them the script until the end, so therefore they didn't know how the film was going to be or how it was going to go.
勝手に子供たちが動いて出来上がってるシーンもありますし、セリフを与えてるシーンも皆さん聞いてても分かんないかもしれませんが、僕は東京の言葉しか喋れないので、こんな風に言ってごらんって僕が伝えたことを彼ら二人は大阪の出身なので、自分の中で普段使ってる大阪の言葉に変えて発しているので、多分与えられたセリフを言っているという感覚はなかったんだろうなと思います。
There are scenes that the children just spoke to each other and they also improvised. And there are scenes where I explained, I told them exactly what I wanted them to say. But I'm from Tokyo, and I explained it in Tokyo Japanese, but they're from Osaka, so therefore they listened to me and learnt the phrases that I told them, the dialogues, and then they pronounced them in the Osakan Japanese dialect, and that's why they didn't feel that they were performing as actors.
Preguntas, por favor, sí.
Further questions? Yes, here in the front row. Hi. More than a question, it's a remark that I would like to make. This summer, a film is being premiered throughout the world. It's called Super 8, in which many people said that one of the funny things that had it would portrays the Goonies or Cuenta Conmigo or E.T. It reminds us of the movies of the 80s. With your film, without extraterrestrials and without special effects of any nature, I've had infinitely a much better time than this Hollywood super production. And I would like to congratulate you for this. Thank you very much.
質問というよりも感想なんですけども、今年の夏スーパーオチョが上映されましたよね。スーパーオチョスーパー8、ごめんなさい。はい。その映画も全然何ですか、特写とかも使ってなくて、すごく80年代的な映画だったんですけども、まして今回の監督の映画もすごく特撮とかも何もしないし、デジタル、コンピューターとかも何も使ってないですよね。もう彼としては、何しろ監督の映画とかこのスーパー8とかの方が、こういういわゆる、特撮とか使っている映画もとっても楽しめました。おめでとうございますということのコメントでした。
今回はでも彼の頭の中で火山がこう噴火するところは一応CG を使ってるんですけど。
Just simply in this film, I do have one scene where I use special effects. The image when the volcano erupts. I would like to ask you, to Koki and Shido, what fun things happened during the shoot? What fun things happened during the shoot when the director directed them for the both children actors?
作ってる時にごめんなさい、お二人の名前覚えてないかも。お二人ははい何が一番とっても楽しかったですか？
監督がすごいなんかおっちょこちょいというか、普段はすごい優しい方で、監督ってたまにドラマとか出させていただいてるんですけど、その時にすごい監督オーラっていうのが多分なんかあるような気がするんですけど、それが監督から全くいい意味で感じられないので、なんか普通のおっちゃんっていう感じがすごい馴染みやすくて、だから映画撮っている時にも休み時間監督とかと喋れて、すごい楽しかったですし、もちろん監督はそういう方なので、スタッフさん全体がそういう優しい感じで穏やかな感じだったんで、すごい馴染めましたし、遊んでいただいて本当に楽しかったです。
First of all, the director is a person who is a charming man. And I've worked on the TV, so I've known a lot of the directors who scream at us and are very serious, and I can hardly talk to him, but this director is very relaxed. He never got angry with us, so therefore we were able to talk to him a lot and maintain a dialogue, so therefore we enjoyed making the film with him. Not only us, but also other children, the entire crew, or the entire cast and it was with a great atmosphere, and that's thanks to the nature and the character of the director.
最初に撮った日に監督と一緒に入ってはいけないプールで、遊んでもいいけど足だけで遊んでねって助監督さんに言われてたのに、ほんで王将、全体入って遊んじゃって、その時に普通監督とかも止めるのにあかんでって言いながらも、監督も一緒に入って一緒に遊んでたから楽しかったです。
I remember the first day that we went to shoot the film. After that day's shoot, we entered into a swimming pool with the director. But they told me, first of all I had to do was put out my feet in. But finally, me and the director had to finally get into the pool with our whole body. And I was very happy to do that, because normally the director tells it, no, you can't go into the pool. But as I was saying, he was a fun director, so he was glad to be into the swimming pool on the third day, so that was fun. And the director of the film got very angry because they jumped into the swimming pool without his permission, it seems. Congratulations for the film. It's a beautiful film. I'd like to ask the three of you, what wish would you ask for if the bullet train came by?
ございます。3人の方に質問なんですけど、願い事は何ですか？
願い事。
はい。
願うことね。
山津監督から。
そうね。願い事か。
ですよ。
A wish.
この映画を撮ったのは去年の夏なので、映画を撮りながら考えていたことは、すごくかけがえのない、でも見過ごしがちな大切なものというのが日常の暮らしの中に実は見え隠れしていて、奇跡、この映画のタイトルである奇跡というのは非日常の中にあるのではなくて、そういう日常の中にあるものに気づくっていうことなのかなっていう気持ちを込めて作った映画でしたし、つけたタイトルだったんですけども。
ちょっといいですか？すいません。
はい。
I started to shoot this film last summer, last year. So therefore, while I was shooting the film, I was thinking that in our day-to-day lives, there are many important things that are things that we are forgetting. Let's say we don't realize that they're very important.
そういったものがやっぱりすごくこう本当にあっけなくというかですね、目の前から失われた時に改めていかにそれが大切なものだったかということには今本当に気がついてというか改めて、気づいているところなので、願うことがあるとすればやっぱりそれがもう一度同じようにとは言いませんけれども取り戻せる日が来ることなのかなというふうに思ってますけどね。
So therefore, as you know, in March in Japan, we had the tsunami and the earthquake occur. So therefore, in our day-to-day life, there are very many important things. And in March, there are a lot of people that have lost of those day-to-day important things that they live through. And after March, it makes me think even more, and I realized that the truth is there are very important things in our day-to-day lives. So therefore, my wish, I would say, recover what we've lost, especially in the month of March.
¿Más preguntas, por favor?
Espera, de los niños. 願い事。
はい。この奇跡っていう映画は自分で言うのもなんですけど、っていうかすごい監督の作品ですごいいい映画だと自分で自信を持って言える気がする。すごい本当に面白い。なんかよくこのスペインに来てから面白かったよってよく言われるんですけど、コメディアンというかなんかその本当に深い面白さもありますし、その楽しい映画ですし、だからすごいこういろんな人に見ていただきたいんですけど、まずこのサンセバスチャン映画祭をきっかけにこうスペインで多くの方に見ていただいて、いいよっても日本語で口コミって言うんですけど、それでこう広がって全世界のいろんな人が見てくださったら、それが一番今願っていることです。
Bueno, ya sé que
I know this is a film that I've participated in, but in any case, this film is incredible. It's a great film. So therefore, I'm very proud to having participated in this film. And it's a film which is very interesting. But in turn, it has a very deep message. But on the other hand, it also has a touch of humor. So therefore, my wish is simply that I want a lot of people to see this film, as many as possible. And also, I want from Spain can talk a lot about our film, and I hope and end up making a lot of people watching our film. That's my wish.
Thank you.
Gracias.
大城は一生今からずっと病気もなく風邪もなく元気で暮らせるのが一番いいなと思ってます。苦しむこともなく。
My wish is to live healthily without falling sick or getting a flu or a cold, and to not suffer. And that's what I'm currently doing.
I have a question. So your movie is really, I think, for adults and children alike. So it's good for both audiences.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go on, please.
Okay, sorry again. Okay, your movie, I think, is for children and adults alike, so it serves for both. And I want to know if you had any of the two audiences in mind when you made the film, and how will you promote it? Will you promote it more like a children movie, or will you maybe more promote it like an adult movie?
Vale. Sí. この映画ですけども子供用の映画でもありますとも撮れますし、その一般の大人向けっていうのがあるんですけども、監督としてはどのようなお考えでお作りになりましたか？
大人の人が見ても楽しめるように作ったつもりではいるんですけれども、いつも 映画作る時には、特定の一人の人へ向けて作る、その人に語りかけるように、話しかけるように作るというふうに、決めていて、前回ここに持ってきたスティルウォーキングという映画は亡くなった母親へ向けて作りましたけども、今回は今、娘が4歳なんですけども、その娘が10歳になった時に、見せようというか、その10歳の娘へ向けて作ろうと思ったので、それで今まで僕が作ってきた映画よりは語り口が多分やや優しいというかですね、柔らかい語り口の映画になったのかなというふうには思ってます。
And of course this film was made so that adults could enjoy it. Every time I make films, I do them for a specific person. For example, Still Working, my previous film, I dedicated it to my mother in order to give a message to my mother who had died. This film, Kiseki, I wish, is for my daughter who's a 4-year-old, and I hope when she turns 10 she can see it. So that's why it's a softer image that I'm showing, and I've dedicated. And the reason I've done this because I've dedicated to my daughter. But of course, once again, it's also for adults.
Una pregunta para Coreda.
Question for Coreda. First of all, congratulate you for your film that I enjoyed very much, and then especially in your latest films, you quite often. You've changed some things in the script, especially with the family that takes in the kids. I think it's very difficult to carry out an action based upon that naivety and that innocence. Aren't you tempted in doing something a bit more dramatic, nevertheless, in your filmmaking?
Perdona, ¿puedes repetir un poquito otra vez? Sí.
The interpreter is asking for the question to be repeated. The question is whether, in your films, especially in your latest films, the action, the things that take place in the film, stem from characters who are especially good or innocent in the figure of the couple that takes in the children, for example. Or otherwise the narration wouldn't have continued, or the narrative wouldn't continue. It's something in cinema, stories normally go on due to what's dramatic or dark, so on and so forth. Yes, whether you've done this on purpose, and could you explain that a bit more in detail?
監督の今回の映画で特に老夫婦いますよね、子供たちを
止める、
はい、そうすごくいい方たちっていう、そういう監督の映画っていうのはそのいい方たちを用いてメッセージを伝えたいというのがあるんですかね。大体他の映画だとなんか悪いこととかそういうことがかなりあるんですけど、監督の場合がそういういい人間っていうのが出てくるのが多いですよねって。
そうかな。
¿Crees que
Do you think in this film a lot of good people appear in this film?
じゃないけど、ただあの人たちがとてもいい人だのは大事なことで、それは子供たちが出会う外側の世界にいる人だから、旅に出て。だけどその人たちがいい人だっていう、それがなんだろうな、必ずしもみんないい人じゃないよっていうのはむしろ子供の側が気がついてて、だから最後に振り込め詐欺に遭わないといいねって子供たち同士で話すっていう、そのむしろなんて言ったらいいんですかね、そういういい人であることに対する批評性も子供は持っているっていうところがポイントだなと思って作ってはいます。
I know it's very important. The characters of that couple are very important in the film because these are the people that the children meet outside of their own world when they're traveling away from home. But the children know that not everybody that they may meet is going to be good to them or not, because the girl, when she asked them, she said, remember when the child says, well, okay, remember one thing, don't let the banks fool you. So therefore, there are a lot of good people in life, but they also know that there are bad people in life as well.
Buenos días.
Hi, good morning. I would like to congratulate you once again also for this film. I loved it. I enjoyed it enormously. The best I've seen so far here in the San Sebastian Film Festival. And I've got a couple of questions. I would like to know the age of the two boys, because they...
もう本当に大変気に入りました。今回のサンセバスチャンの映画祭見た中で一番気に入ったぐらいです。まず2人の年齢を教えてください。
12歳です。
12 años.
12 and 10 years old. Thank you very much. They play a role as if they were adults because they're very mature. I was quite impressed by the way they portrayed their roles.
大人の俳優さんのような演技をなさってても本当にびっくりしました。ありがとうございます。Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask you about the subject matter, that is, say, the separation of the parents or the fact that the father's not there. Is that something personal, or could you talk about the origin or how the story came about?
でしょうか。それは監督の個人的な個人のパーソナルな生活のとかがあるんでしょうか。
いやいや、そうではないんですけどね。ただ
Bueno, actualmente
I'm not separated, by the way, at the present moment. But what about your parents or whatever is?
けども、仲が悪かったので、仲が悪い両親を見ながら子供がどんな気持ちを抱くかっていうのは自分でもわかるので、その気持ちは彼の役柄には重ねてはいます。
My parents didn't divorce, but the problem is they didn't get along. Didn't get along very well at all. So I understand the feeling of these two children whose parents don't get along or are separated. So therefore, as I understand the issue, I explained it to him. I explained to the kids what it feels like to have separated parents who just don't get along.
今回撮ったのはですね、主人公がいろいろな理不尽な自分の納得のできない状況に次から次へと見舞われてるっていう状況からスタートしたかったので、一つは親の離婚だったし、一つは火山のそばに住むっていうことだったし、そういうことを理不尽なこととして、受け止めきれないというか納得できない状況っていうのにまず主人公を置こうと思ったので、あとは弟と別々に暮らすっていう理由にはやっぱり一番それが自然かなと思いました。
Well, above all, I wanted to start the film in a situation where the elder brother, who is living through a very unfair situation, and one is obviously the separation of her parents, and also to live exactly where he lived, next to the volcano, that is to say. I'd like to ask the director, do you believe, like in the bullet train, could you repeat the question? Do you believe that what is asked of life can come back to us like a type of reaction if you ask the bullet train, like an attraction of attracting things? Do you believe, once again, of what you ask in life can come like a special sort of possession or an attraction towards us, as what happens with a bullet train when they ask for a wish when they cross? In such a way, the question is whether your wishes can come true, come back to us as an attraction.
願い事叶い時がありますかって、
それは何に対する質問なの？
すいません、はい。
願い事が叶うことがあるか。
¿Quieres decir que cumple hay momentos?
What do you mean? Is it what you're meaning is do wishes come true?
あるだろうと思いますけどね。ただ叶わない、今回の映画に絡めて言えば、彼は旅へ出て願い事が思い通りに願い事が叶うことが必ずしも幸せなことではないかもしれないって思うんだよね、きっとね。そのことで自分が大切にしているものが壊れるかもしれないっていうことに気づいて帰ってくるっていうのは、ちょっと複雑だけども、それが成長なのかなというふうには思ってるんですよね。だから叶えば願い事なんだろうな、願い続ければいつか叶うっていうのは非常に大人が子供に向けて与えるメッセージとしても僕は無責任かなと思ってるので、叶わないことの中にも何かその人間が成長していくきっかけはあるとかね。
Well, sometimes our wishes come true and some don't. But I believe that albeit our wish doesn't come true, it's not a bad idea to make the wish. This film, for example, the elder brother wished the volcano to explode and to his parents to come together again. But after this journey, he realizes that his wish was not fulfilled. But he's not unhappy because of this, because he didn't lose the important things of his day-to-day life. So therefore, in that sense, after the journey, he's grown, he's matured, and I think that he's learnt that all wishes don't necessarily have to come true. For example, the adults, we always tell kids, if you keep wishing, I'm sure your wish will come true. But it's a message which is a bit false that we adults tell our kids or children.
Felicidades por la película.
Congratulations for the film. With your previous film, Orutemo Still Walking, was shown in San Sebastian, and it was well taken, and it's the best film of the festival at that time, and unfortunately by the critics, but it didn't receive any award in the film festival. What importance do you give, Mr. Correa, of awards and prizes and festivals, and what do you expect from this film in this edition of the San Sebastian Film Festival?
映画のおめでとうございます。素晴らしい映画でした。前回ステリを、歩いてでもご参加になった時、あの時もすごく評判良くて、大賞を取るって、みんなで言ってたんですけども、残念なことにお取りになれませんでしたけども、監督にとって賞とは、映画祭での賞というのはどういうもんでしょうか。あと映画祭全体に対してのイメージですね。それとあと今回の映画ではどういうふうになると思いますでしょうか。
難しい質問だこと。まずその前にですね、ちょっとここには並んでないんですが、今遅れてちょっと到着したんですが、今回の映画とスティルウォーキングとその前の花ノーバディノーズアフターライフ全部撮影を担当していただきましたカメラマンの山崎さんが来てるんで紹介させてください。
Sorry to interrupt the press conference, but the cameraman of our film had just turned up, Mr. Yamazaki, who's at the back there on the white shirt, and I wanted to introduce you to him.
こういう形で一緒に映画を作ったスタッフや今回は2人来てくれましたけども、キャストと一緒に、自分たちが作ったものがどんな風に受け止めてもらえるのかを本当に目の前で感じることができる、そのことがとても素晴らしい経験だと思ってます。
First of all, if we participate in film festivals, Well, I've participated, I've come with these two actors, for example, these two boys. We can feel how the audience or the journalists think of my film. So therefore, that experience is quite a good experience in itself, and to participate in a film festival in this respect.
嬉しいことで、結果的に取れるか取れないかともかくとしてね。で、前回もすごく素晴らしい、絶対取材に来た人が絶対これは賞が取れるよってみんな言ってくれて、で途中で帰るはずだったのに滞在を最終日まで延ばしたんですけど結果的にそのまま飛行場へ空港へ向かうという結果になりまして、
As you've said in my previous film, Still Walking, I know that all journalists told me that you didn't win the award and you didn't win a prize, so therefore, and I stayed on for the last day in San Sebastian, but I didn't win a prize, unfortunately, so therefore I had to go straight to the airport without a prize. What can we do?
滞在を最終日まで長期で取ってきました。
So therefore, this time from the outset, before coming here, I've decided to stay until the last day, just in case. Who knows? So therefore, whatever the result, I'll accept it, whatever the case may be.
Sí, pásale el micrófono. Sí.
Hi. When the film finishes, a friend of mine told me, it's like a Miyazaki film, but with real images.
友達が宮崎駿監督の映画の雰囲気で、でもそれだけどもアニメじゃなくて、その現実というか、アニメではなくて本当映画ですよね、いわゆるというふうに友達が言ったんですけども、それについてどうお思いになりますか？
宮崎さんの何を思ったんだろうね。
I'm not too sure to what extent or what moment your friend thought he has that influence. I suppose that young kids live and adventure together. I'm not too sure.
子供が冒険に出ていくとかそういうのですかね。
宮崎さんの作品はとても好きですけども。
Well, I like Miyazaki's films very much. The problem is, I don't believe that this film describes the adventure of the children.
描写のディテールを宮崎さんのアニメを見ていて僕が一番すごいなと感じるのは、例えば冒険活劇を描いていても、その少年が生活をしている生活空間とか日常の描写っていうのが非常に丁寧なんですよね。それがあるから非日常が生きるっていう描き方をきちんとされるところがやっぱアニメですけれども勉強になるんですよね。そのあたりは今回もやっぱり冒険に出る前の彼らが暮らしている日常の重要性みたいなことは共通しているかもしれないですね。
If there's anything in common with his movie or films, is perhaps we describe a lot of things, very little things that happen in our day-to-day lives. In Miyazaki's films, the children have adventures, but Miyazaki also describes many scenes or images, small details that take place in our day-to-day lives. He's a genius in describing these types of things. That's why I give a lot of importance in my film of describing the images of our day-to-day lives, very little minor details that take place in our day-to-day lives.
Muy bien, gracias a todos por su participación.
Thank you very much. Arigato.